Some of the most interesting moments in Nintendo's history is when there's some sort of crossover between franchises, usually in a fighting, party, race, or sports capacity, but can just be a small Easter egg in a mainline game. With the release of Tears of the Kingdom, I decided to make a few videos focusing on Zelda, starting with this one, which looks at its relationship with the mustachioed man, as of course that's mainly the focus of my channel, going through certain references that appear in almost every entry. Oh yeah, and before I get started here, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell to stay notified when I upload new videos. Of course, the very first game to be released is Super Mario Bros. For the NES, and believe it or not, but The Legend of Zelda was basically produced at the same time, although there's really only one common thing between them: the fire bars. So apparently the story goes that this obstacle was originally meant to debut within a dungeon in Hyrule Kingdom, but was scrapped as Miyamoto thought it would work better in a platforming setting like Mario's. Years later, these would actually be brought into Link's adventure, here called Guru Guru bars, appearing first in A Link to the Past, but returning in subsequent entries. In my next video about Mario references in Zelda games, I'm gonna go more in depth with the relationship and the development between these two titles, so check that out when it's out. The next game to contain any Hyrulean Easter eggs is Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES, where curiously, the sound the magic warp whistle makes is similar to the one found in the original Legend of Zelda entry. In this one, it comes from the recorder, which has three main uses. 1, to shrink the Dig Dogger down to size. 2, it can be used to uncover the 7th dungeon of the game, needing to be played on the western side of Hyrule near the fairy fountains. And 3, it can be played in the overworld, which will teleport you to the entrance of the previous dungeon you just completed. Whatever you use it for, it plays the tune that you hear when you use the secret warp whistle. Where if you can find both in World 1, you can actually go right to World 8. Although Super Mario Land 2 doesn't directly have any Zelda references, I just want to quickly mention a few WarioWare minigames that contain Link, only making that connection as it's Wario's first appearance in Nintendo's history. I don't know, it makes sense in my mind, whatever, go with it. In WarioWare Inked, Mega Micro Games, there's a series of screens where you have to quickly guide Link to the dungeon entrance while avoiding enemies. In WarioWare Twisted, you need to use your shield to deflect the projectile attacks from the Octo Rocks. In WarioWare Touched, there's both a Spot the Difference minigame, along with one where you have to tap the fairy in each screen. In WarioWare Smooth Moves, there's one where you have to float through the air using the Korok leaf, guiding Link to the platform, also having one where you need to pull the Master Sword out of the stone. In WarioWare DIY, there's one where you need to fight back enemies that are progressing towards you. In WarioWare DIY Showcase, there's one in the Zelda 2 style where you need to block attacks from the enemy. In WarioWare Gold for the Wii U, you need to draw a line on the gamepad towards the Switch so you throw the boomerang at it. And finally, in WarioWare Get It Together, there's a Breath of the Wild minigame where you have to launch the block that you've inflicted with stasis. I get it, these aren't technically Super Mario Bros. Games, but I still feel like I needed to include it to show you guys. The first 3D based game in this series is Super Mario 64 for the N64, which has a very surprising Zelda-based Easter egg I had absolutely no clue about, which can be found in the second floor of the castle. At the base of the stairs leading to the third floor, there's a painting that looks relatively simple of just a bunch of different types of clouds in the starry night sky. But even though it's unassuming, it's apparently a reference to the Song of Storms from Ocarina of Time. Using it to get to the bottom of the well where you have to obtain the Lens of Truth. What really gives this one away is that the stars are actually arranged in the same structure as the notes in the Songs of Storm, making me wonder if there's any other really deep cut references that people missed. The next game to come out is Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, where in it there's a character named Il Piantissimo, who almost definitely is, or at least closely resembles, a somewhat common Zelda character, albeit with a mask on. This is the Running Man found in both A Link to the Past and in the Ocarina of Time, usually seen running, as his name insists, around Hyrule Kingdom, where in this Mario entry, you need to race him to gain a shine in a few of the courses. I'm not sure if this is a direct confirmation that these two titles exist within the same universe, but I'd at least love to know why Nintendo felt like they needed to disguise him. Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii is the game where you start to see a lot more crossover with specific Zelda enemies, where many of them appear in the Space Base entry. These include the bats, which are pretty much just the keys as both have pig-like noses, bulgy eyes, and a big belly. The rock toes, which are literally just Octoroks with a different name, as they're both out-of-water squid-like foes who shoot projectiles. The Cluckboom sort of resembles a mechanized Kuko, and the eye beamers look and act a lot like the Beamos, both of which shoot lasers out of their single eye. I might have missed a few or left out some, so let me know if that's the case in the comments below. Another Easter egg is an amazing image of a rupee drawn out in star bits that can be found in an extremely hidden spot in the Rolling Gizmo Galaxy. To see this, you have to avoid the ball completely, then platform over the void, up these bigger boxes till you reach the top. Here you then have to look down to see this cool image just floating there in space. Something I'm honestly not sure how anybody found, as it's in an insanely inconspicuous spot. Super Mario Galaxy 2 also came out for that Wii system, and has one very, very, very random Zelda-related Easter egg I have to mention in a specific pose a Guillermo makes. This golden version of the robotic weirdo requests help from Mario in the Boulder Bowl Galaxy to find the Goomba of all things. Once you lure it into the trap, the Guillermo gets very excited and gives you a star for your troubles. But while doing so, goes through a specific animation that looks a lot like Link's item get from many of those games. This is a hilarious nod to Nintendo's second most popular character, and one really only die-hard fans would notice. Nintendo would beautifully blend the Mushroom Kingdom's 2D and 3D realms with the release of Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS, containing an entire level that's an homage to the Zelda series in World 5 too. That's because here, everything's from the top-down style, making it feel like you're exploring a dungeon, but with jump attacks and not a sword. What's really cool is that if you go throughout the level and find the 4 torches, you can light them up as Fire Mario, and the classic treasure find sound effect will actually appear. Which of course is the sound effect that plays when Link uncovers a secret. This was all done in celebration of Zelda's 25th anniversary, and I hope in the future they continue to do this trend, as I love me some Easter eggs. Although Super Mario 3D World doesn't have a full level dedicated to Zelda, it does have one sub-area found within World Star 1, called Rainbow Run. If you're able to get to the Cloud Cannon, which is behind a wall that opens for you once you light the 2 torches, you'll find the sub-area, where you have to activate every light-up color panel in the area to reveal an awesome 8-bit Link. Once you do this, it will make the item get sound and give you a green star. But unfortunately, this is the only mention of the Hyrule Kingdom in this entry, and again, I definitely would have loved to see way more. Now the final game we're going to look at in this video is Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, and there isn't really any Zelda mention or reference in this game, so I just want to go over the fact that you can actually use their amiibos to unlock certain hints. To do this, you have to find the Uncle Amiibo robot in the kingdom you're in, and go through the prompts of scanning it using the controller. After coming back 5 minutes later, you'll be able to get your hint. But just to note, there's no actual specific reference to any of the amiibos you use. It's just interesting that you can use non-Mario ones. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. Like I said earlier, be on the lookout for a related video about Mario references in every Zelda game, as I feel like I want to make a few videos based on Zelda with the release of Tears of the Kingdom. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button, and please go follow me on Instagram at CopyCatGamer, where there I upload some cool clips and items for my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!